Hello, everybody. This is Mark Hammond from We Talk Art. And right after the intro, we're going to be dropping into an interview with a really involved Reno local artist, Eileen Fuller. We're going to be talking about an upcoming show that's available to all Nevada residents here in 2024. We're going to talk about the local co-op gallery, and we're going to talk about the Latimer Art Club, a 100-year-old art club that's been going on in Reno. And this is a information-packed video. I think you're going to love it. So let's roll the intro and get into it. Start now. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to start by saying that you are probably the person that's responsible for getting me into watercolor. I took my first watercolor class from you.
Yes,
So,
you did.
and that was a while back, and I've been to some degree watercoloring ever since. It's kind of morphed in different ways, and a
Right.
little
You've
bit of
added to
urban
it with a lot of
sketching, and
sketching. Yeah.
yeah, and so I now I feel like the foundation you gave me was a good start. With that said,
Thank
why don't you
you.
tell us a little bit about you? Um,
Okay.
to set the groundwork. I basically said in the intro that you are a very involved local artist, and
Okay. All right. Well, that's true, Mark. When I retired from the banking business after 37 years, I got to retire early. I was in my 50s, and I was able to then pursue art, which was what I wanted to do my whole life. But a single parent raising kids, I had to get a real job. And unfortunately, I didn't get into art to start with. So after that, I was able to then get out of my left brain and into my right brain and get real involved in the art community in Reno. And it started with the Sierra Watercolor Society, and then learned about the Latimer Art Club and was able to join there. And because I was one of the younger members of the Latimer Art Club, they put me to work doing and volunteering to be one of the officers, and started out with the newsletter and so forth. Worked my way up to president a couple times, and then really fell in love with being in charge of doing their art shows. So that kind of tells you how I kind of got into the art world about 20 years ago in Northern Nevada, and also started the miniature show. I wasn't the original starter of that, but participated, and it was at your little gallery
yes,
on
Truckee
the
River
Truckee
Gallery.
River.
Yep,
Right.
it was a
We
lot
had
of fun.
we
It
had
was 250 square feet, and we had a ton of little miniatures that I had to hang. I was overwhelmed by how to hang all those little guys. And
right.
it was really cool because Jim McCormick, who is no longer with us, but a local celebrity artist, and he did the jurying of that, or the judging of that show, and
Yes,
it was a really great show.
it was. And it grew from there. I mean, we moved it to the Historical Society on the University of Nevada, Reno campus, and was there for 7 years. And it kept growing and growing. We made it an open call to all Nevada artists. And so we needed more space. And then we moved it again to the Artist Co-op Gallery on Mill Street in Reno, where it has been super popular. And that's where it is going to be again this year.
Perfect. And then, since we kind of touched on the Latimer Club, I think for the larger audience, it's a really interesting history. It's a really vibrant club. It's been going for over 100 years. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. When the Latimer Art Club was formed in 1921, it was formed by students of an artist from the Bay Area named Lorenzo P. Latimer. And he would come from the Bay Area to Tahoe and paint. And he stayed up at Fallen Leaf Lake he had some friends there that he met through the Bohemian Club out of the Bay Area. And so that's how the club was formed, was from his students. His days up at Tahoe were, I think, 1917 on. And by 21, his students wanted to form a club, and he gave them guidance on how to put it together from his experience with different clubs in California. And also in the 100th year anniversary, the Latimer School book was published by Jack Bacon and Company, and this is about also the 90th anniversary of the Nevada Museum of Art. So that's how the club got really big. Was we really increased our membership threefold with that 2021 anniversary of the club turning 100 years old, where our club is now over 100 members.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Latimer was a watercolorist for the most
Yes,
part,
and
right?
an oil painter too.
Okay.
He didn't just do watercolors, but that was easier to teach, I think. But the club was formed with people in multiple medias, so not just
Okay.
watercolors. So,
And
yeah,
his watercolor technique is pretty stylized. He has a real voice. You know, when I've seen his
right,
work, you go, that is probably Latimer, just because of
yeah,
the way he treats light and color is pretty interesting.
hmm
So, if you haven't seen some of his work, definitely look him up. How does
right.
the club's membership work? How do you join the Latimer Club, and what's involved in that?
Okay. Originally, you had to be a student of Lorenzo's in order to become a member. And when I joined the club 20 years ago now, you also had to be sponsored by another member, and you had to attend a couple of meetings for them to get to know you before they would vote you in. You also had to present your work, at least 3 items of your work, and to be voted upon in a silent vote. Um, we still require people to do that, to present their work and to have an anonymous voting. But you don't have to be sponsored by another member, and the public is welcome to attend our meetings and learn about us before they would decide whether they wanted to be an active member and submit their work, or and then also be eligible to enter our shows, or to be an associate member, which is where people who might be a little bit shy about being judged and voted in, or they might be just beginning their art adventures, and so they want to start out as an associate and then build up their portfolio and their confidence to then be asked to join.
Okay.
All the details are on the website of
Yes, and
um,
we'll link it to that in the show notes.
good,
Both what we're going to be talking about and the group. So, describe
great.
what modern day Vladimir Art Club is like. What is and if you could kind of approach it by what you're doing and that group, and possibly you're in other groups too. So,
Right.
if someone's out of this area and interested in a group, what would they expect from joining a group like this?
Okay. Well, first, I have to make a little correction here, Mark.
Oh,
And that's, a lot of people call it Latimer, but there's no I in there. It's Latimer.
Latimer,
So
I'm guilty of that.
yes, yes, I've heard you say that. So I have
Thank
to
you for the
correct
correction.
Latimer. So the question again was about the
The club
um,
today, what is it like? We
what's
kind of
all up.
talked about the
Okay,
history, and then just a larger picture of maybe being
great.
involved in an art club like
Okay.
that.
What people get out of being a member of the club, like the Latimer Art Club, it's not just the shows that we put on that you can participate in, but also the activities we have, like the meetings where you learn from professional artists and others in the industry on how to work with different mediums. Recently, we had Tamami Tokutaki, who is a pastelist, to go over how to use the materials and examples of her work, people she's learned from. And she had examples from other members of our club to share also on our pastel work. I do a little bit of pastel work myself. And so that's one of the things that you can receive as a member of a club like this. Also, plein air outings where we go out and paint on site. And we've got oil painters and acrylic painters and watercolors and pastelists that have their little travel kit and go out to a lovely site and paint together or paint around each other, not necessarily looking at the very same scene, and then gather and share what they've done and critique and help each other to get better. So that's one of the other things. We get to promote ourselves and our professional activities too. And recently, a whole plein air event happened in Carson City that was the 4th annual event for plein air watercolor. And that ended up in an auction to raise money for a good cause, and some money to the artists on their sales, but also a percentage to a nonprofit in the area. So that's another example of how things work out if you're in a group like this, and you can share.
Okay, I think that I was kind of curious, and I might have wrote it in my notes somewhere, but what level of artists are generally in the Latimer Club?
Okay. Yes, there are all levels. So from those that have perhaps retired from a profession and are picking up their art supplies again after a long hiatus, to those that are just starting out but showing some talent, to those that are professional and semi-professional. So all levels. It used to be very exclusive to the top two, the semi-professional and professional, but it's opened up for so many others to be added to the group, and for all ages too. The older of us that have been in the club longer are learning more from the younger people on how to be active on social media and share our work that way, and perhaps sell it also online. We have some members that will be participating in the Reno Tahoe International Art Show again this year. The first year they invited the whole club to participate without asking a fee, and then they got bigger and more financially stable, and now only those that wanted to buy a booth were able to participate. So that's coming up, and several of our members have bit the bullet and are paying to participate there.
Yeah, that's an exciting event.
Awesome.
I'll put a link to
Check.
that in the show notes also,
Yeah.
because that's a major Reno event now.
Mhm. It sure
Uh,
has grown.
and so we'll get that linked into that. So let's get on to what we're here about, and that's the show
Yes.
coming up.
Yes, the 17th annual miniature show, statewide. So we're looking for artists throughout the state to send in or deliver their paintings for this miniature show. It's called Nevada Then and Now. So it's kind of a theme, but it's pretty open. So even those that want to do abstract miniature paintings could apply for this. And two of our judges, one of the judges is also an abstract artist. So that's a good thing to know. We have 5 categories. So these 5x7 or smaller images can be in oil acrylic, water media, pastel, um,
Graphite.
graphite, ink and drawing, and mixed media. We're not allowing any photography or digital
None of
because
these.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I
I've
know.
moved on. I'm doing other arts
Yeah,
now.
I know you are. I know you are. But we've had people complain that we don't allow photography, but it's not in the bylaws, and I don't think if we tried to put it to a vote that it would pass either,
Yeah, I
because
mean, as your
in the
group
tradition.
is its lineage and what it is that's just not what it is.
Right.
So
That's true.
fair enough,
Yeah.
as I
Yes.
think.
Now we have our deadlines to worry about. There's an online entry on the Latimer website under exhibits and shows to enter this. It must be online entered by by September 26th, and then and the delivery needs to be either in the mail to me or to the co-op by the afternoon of the 27th when we do the judging.
So a little over a
Then,
month. It's coming up.
yeah, a little over a month. So you got time to do this. All the details are on the website, but we're really excited. You'll also see the grand prize winner from last year's exhibit on there. Lisa Jefferson's Tahoe Summer was just a beautiful acrylic that she entered in the show last year, and won grand prize. We offer cash prizes. Used to be we gave away art materials, and we used to hit up the Nevada Fine Arts along with other places to give us some swag to give away, but that got to be pretty cumbersome, and we decided to just raise more money and give away cash along with
Okay.
ribbons.
Well,
So
people
that's what
appreciate cash, I think.
Oh, they do, and they can just go right over to Nevada Fine Arts and spend their
Spend
money
it on it. There you are.
what they want instead of something like, "I'm never going to use this. Why did they give me this?" But anyway,
So
so
this is the 17th year of this, right?
yes,
So
yeah,
this has been pretty successful. Can you tell us
yes,
how many entries you're expecting and what it means to be
yes.
doing a show for 17 years?
The last year we had a record 244 miniatures entered in the show, and we only had one judge, and he was overwhelmed. He really earned his money. So this year we've got two judges to help us with this, but we would like to see 250 entries.
Okay.
At the artist co-op, we fill the exhibit room with these almost floor to ceiling when we get them in there. You might need a ladder to see some of those in the top row if we get that many, but we try to keep them all visible, um, with the ribbons and so forth. We'll have a reception with the show. It is October 8th. Yeah,
And
that's right.
it's like noon to 4, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
October 8th, noon to 4, Sunday. And our awards will be happening at 2:30 that day. So, but we always serve food and wine and non-alcoholic drinks at our reception. So it's a fun time to meet all the artists.
Yeah,
And
the co-op has some great receptions. It's a nice
yes,
space for that.
we do. We do. It's been a going concern since 1966, so it's not as old as the Latimer Art Club, but it's um, a little building that has grown to be have quite a reputation, and to be ongoing for that long as an art gallery is pretty remarkable.
Yes, absolutely. Having done that a couple times, it is a hard
Yes,
go. And
yeah, you know.
how many members are in the co-op now?
We have 18 active members that are that have their own wall art, and we have one wall that we're using for heritage art, which is a state art that has come back to us to be resold.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, and right now we have a feature group of art paintings from the collection of the Wally Couchain estate. He was the man who held the loneliest art gallery in Nevada out in Eureka
Oh,
for
wow.
many years. And he passed away, leaving over 600 pieces of art to his estate. And we've got some of those little gems for sale in the gallery right now. And then we also have about 45 consignment artists that do jewelry and glass and woodworking and those kind of things, three-dimensional items that we have on display that we don't necessarily sell a painting every day, but we might sell note cards and small things that help us make the payments on the building.
Okay. That's an important thing.
It
And then
is.
it's located, what's the address of that on Second Street? Do you know what
No,
top
it's on Mill Street,
Mill Street?
627 Mill Street, just west of Wells.
And when is it
Um,
open?
it's open every day from 11 to 4, with exception of a few holidays. 4th of July will be closed.
And the
Uh,
members run it, right? That part of
yes,
the membership is taking a day or
right.
two a
The
month.
the Yes, we take a day out of every 20 about and sit the gallery. So the Artist Co-op Gallery, um, we have a waiting list of people that want to be members of the gallery, and oftentimes we'll have a possibility of someone to be a guest artist and show their work for a month on a vacant wall. But right now we don't have any vacant walls. We recently had we currently have a show in the back called Tremendous Tahoe, and one of our members, John Edmondo, does a lot of tree paintings. So he vacated his wall for this month. So another artist, guest artist, Alice Kreider, has got her pieces of abstract and realistic art on display in his space for this month. But normally, we've got our own work in there, and we invite a lot of guests to participate in our feature shows. And that's what keeps our gallery really vibrant and vital, is because we have invitational shows like Photo Fandango has been going for 17 years in February or March. And we have a lot of shows that we create something new. Fall Colors is coming up, and that's also an invitational for both photographers and artists in all mediums to show their work. Then we have a great Christmas show that goes November and December. We have a couple of receptions for that one, and we invite people to bring in homemade goods that are a little bit more crafty, maybe some knitted material and stuff like that could be part of that show. And then so that's what goes on during the group shows. We also have other things happening at the co-op right now that include a mentorship program. This is our second year of inviting artists to apply, and we selected 5 that we are working with on a weekly basis to help them get ready to show their art at a show in January. Last year we had a fantastic Emerging Artists 2024 show, and then this year will be the 2025 exhibit, where we can really help launch young people into becoming artists and getting out there. So we're real excited about doing that.
And you've been involved in the co-op for a while, and can you kind of describe? I mean, I know a lot of communities have co-op galleries, and artists tend to look at those as that an opportunity. Can you tell from a personal perspective of the value for you of being a member of a co-op gallery like this?
That's a good question. It's like a family when you get to work with other artists and have the ability to show things together and create, um, you really form a team. We get together and move everything around every quarter, so nothing is stale. We have a really good system there of marking the items by date so that nothing is too old. If it's a year old, it's out of there. So it keeps everything fresh. We've had a really good um, last 5 years in that we formed a nonprofit in order to actually purchase the building. I don't know. It's worked really well in our community and in the space that we're in. That building was built in 1907 to be a French laundry, and
Wow.
and the child of the original owner was the one who we bought it from in his 80s. So it's been a great story to have that historical building that we've expanded and renovated and kept up. So we've been really fortunate to have that space and have it affordable.
Yeah.
We've had, yeah, we've had turnover of our artists, of course, but we have young and vital additions that are helping us with social media and websites and those kind of things. So we're growing as the older members of the group. We're learning. So it's been
It's
great.
awesome.
It's been great.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
Eileen, I really appreciate you coming on. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I just, there will be people that watch this that aren't even from the Nevada area, and I would just encourage you to be part of an art community. And maybe you don't have the chance to rent a space that's affordable, but you can come up with creative ideas of where to have art shows and help out in other community areas. We have several events a year where we give a portion of our proceeds to a nonprofit. And we raise money for a local canine and cat rehabilitation center. And we helped to raise money for scholarships for the Italian club of the area. We've done different things over the years. Usually a couple a year we pick out to help out, and it's giving back to the community in with our creativity, and we just love doing that.
And you do an awesome job of that. And I do want to say for all the people watching, buy local art, buy art from the
Yes,
artists you met and support those artists. He just does amazing things.
it does.
So
Thanks so
Eileen,
much, Mark.
oh, and good luck on the miniature show. I'm excited to hear how that goes and see it. I'm actually going to be traveling, and I hope to get back in time to at least be able to go in and see the show. If not, I hope someone
Yes,
takes a lot of pictures.
we
And
definitely will do that.
and
Uh,
I hope you get some feedback from the audience here, and we'll talk
and be
soon.
sure to put those links up for us, and we
Uh,
appreciate it very
they will
much.
be in the show notes below, so
Okay,
we will do
awesome.
that.
Safe
Thanks, Eileen.
travels. Okay, all
Thank
right,
you. Take
all
care.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview. Eileen has a lot of great information. There's a lot happening in Reno, art scene between the Latimer Art Club, the Artist Co-op, and she even mentioned the Watercolor Society that's very active here in town. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be links down below to the Latimer Art Club, the upcoming miniature show, the Call to Artist, and the Rita show, Reno Tahoe International Arts Show, all in the show notes. So the other things down there is all the buttons you can show your love to. So now go make some art.